Why So Cold contains content that is graphic in nature. Listener discretion is advised. Why So Cold relies largely on police or news documents, eyewitness accounts, press conferences, and interviews. Every episode of Why So Cold is produced with respect to the victims, families, and communities involved.
From Watts Creative Studios, this is Why So Cold. Almost 40 years ago, on August 17, 1984, a young couple was found brutally murdered in the Henrico County woods, just behind Kings Crossing Apartments. Donna Hall and Michael Margaret had told their families they were going on a camping trip, but they were no further than a quarter of a mile from Donna's home. Even though heavy rains had already washed away most of the evidence, police did discover something that is believed to be the key to revealing the killer's identity. And yet, decades later, the case remains without answers. Michael, a 21-year-old graduate of Tucker High School, and Donna, an 18-year-old Freeman High School graduate, were a well-liked couple living in West End, Richmond, Virginia. By the summer of 1984, they had been together for 4 years, and everyone was certain they were soon to be married. Mike was described as an outdoorsman. He loved camping and loved hunting, fishing, and having a good time. According to his mother, Mike always lived like there was no tomorrow. He loved every minute of life. Donna's friends said that she was vibrant, very kind and caring, an all-American healthy girl. She was the kind of person who did not do anything to hurt others. It was hard to believe Donna could have any enemies in the whole world. On Friday, August 17th, both Mike and Donna told their respective families they were going camping together. However, it was unclear where the couple was planning to go to, as they mentioned multiple different locations to their families and friends, including ones in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. The reason why Mike and Donna told different versions of their plans is unknown. Nevertheless, Mike got off work at 9 p.m. that evening and went to pick up Donna at the Kings Crossing Apartments before heading to an intimate get-together with friends. Some have said that the couple went to the apartment to pick up a tent from one of their friends, but the friend in question was not present, and Donna and Mike never got the camping equipment. However, they stayed for a while with other people, and when the couple left around 11:45 p.m., everyone still assumed that they drove off in Mike's Jeep for their 2-day camping trip. That's why nobody thought it was weird in any way that they did not hear from Mike and Donna for the whole weekend. But when they did not return Sunday night to be ready for their jobs the following day, the families began to worry. It was not like Mike and Donna to just disappear, and still, it was initially thought that maybe the lovers had eloped to tie the knot. Nevertheless, the families contacted the police immediately and reported Mike and Donna missing.
Appears to be 2 suitcases, the back, clothes, and a bag.
A few days later, on Tuesday, August 21st around 6 p.m., a retired dentist named Robert Ferguson was walking his dog in the woods behind Kings Crossing Apartments at Gaskins Road and Patterson Avenue. The apartment complex was a relatively new development, and just next to it were still virgin woods and fields with old barns and buildings. Although dirt bikers and four-wheelers often zoomed through the area, the ground was still muddy after a storm that weekend, and Robert was most likely the first one strolling through the thick woods behind Castile Drive since Saturday. There, he eventually came up on a rise in the rugged dirt road and saw a Jeep backed into a depression off the trail under the trees. Robert noticed that the passenger side door was open, and upon a closer look, he saw that the keys were in the ignition and the ashtray was open. There was a bandana tied to the rearview mirror and another one loosely around the clutch. Weirdly, the canvas top of the Jeep was rolled up and pinned back, even though it had rained over the weekend. In the back end of the vehicle, there were 2 suitcases and a paper bag filled with clothes. It was definitely a strange scene, but Robert was not too concerned, not before he noticed something that looked like drops of blood on the passenger seat. Robert walked around the Jeep and came across a checkered red and blue blanket about 20 feet away. It was then that he noticed a foul smell. Not far from where he was now standing, Robert saw 2 bodies lying close to each other, Mike and Donna. Back then, people did not carry cell phones, so Robert took his dog and ran home as fast as he could to call 911.
This is a door was found open. Now we're going to go inside of the Jeep.
Henrico County police arrived on the scene soon after and began their investigation. Both Mike and Donna had been drugged, stabbed, and their throats cut. The correct word to describe the death of the young couple is overkill. The bodies were found face up, heel to heel. Mike was partially covered with underbrush and looked like he had put up a hell of a fight for his life. Donna was missing her shoes, but as she did not have defensive wounds, she may have been unconscious during the attack, or she just never had a chance to fight. Both Donna and Mike had Demerol, a narcotic sedative similar to morphine in their systems. But Donna was the one with an extreme level of the drug in her body. It is unknown how the couple had ingested the drug, as Demerol was not found anywhere else at the crime scene. The police did confirm that the couple had been killed in the same location where their bodies were discovered. A video recorded from the scene shows detectives picking up evidence, including the red and blue checkered blanket. While doing so, one of them can be heard saying, "Someone was murdered on this blanket." If that comment was correct, why would the killer go through trouble moving the body off the blanket or pull it out from underneath the body and just leave it out in the open? We know that Mike had fought for his life, so Donna had most likely been the one who had been killed on top of the blanket. But had she been already sitting there and passed out because of the Demerol in her system, or had she been placed there on purpose? The blanket was found crumbled, and when it was picked up, the pack of Marlboros fell out, so it did seem like someone had been sitting on it smoking. But who, we do not know. The coroner concluded both Mike and Donna had died between 1 and 2 a.m. early Saturday morning, August 18th, so just a couple of hours after they had left their friend's apartment. The detectives believed that before they ended up in the woods, Mike and Donna had been somewhere else, and in that location, they had gotten the Demerol in their system, voluntarily or not. And there, Donna had left her shoes. From the crime scene, police recovered 3 cigarette butts and an empty bottle of beer, in addition to the pack of Marlboro cigarettes. A murder weapon was not located, and unfortunately, heavy rains on that Saturday had possibly washed away evidence, but the forensic team was still able to collect blood samples from multiple places. Initial testing of the samples came back with 3 different blood types in the Jeep. 2 matched Mike and Donna's, but 1, type A, did not. This unknown person's blood was found on the blue suitcase, back of the passenger seat, the driver's seat, and the side of the transmission, as the blood seemed to have dropped rather than splattered on the surfaces. It was thought that the killer had been looking for something inside the vehicle after the murders. DNA tests were performed in 1987 and again in 2006, but no matches were found. Very quickly into the investigation, a theory emerged of the murders having to do something with drugs. After all, both Mike and Donna were participating in the rampant drug culture present in Richmond at the time. It is said that they were experimenting rather than using heavily, but as the investigators kept digging, they found out Mike and Donna might have been sellers too. Witnesses said they had seen Donna and Mike with around $5,000, which is equivalent in purchasing power to about $13,500 today at the night of the murders. But there was no sign of the cash at the crime scene. According to the witness, the couple had plans to buy cocaine with the money and then resell it. That amount of cash and that potential amount of drugs could have easily pulled unwanted attention to Mike and Donna. Perhaps it had been at their dealer's place where the Demerol had gotten in their systems. The drug is highly illegal, and to have it in their possession, the person would have had to rob a hospital or a pharmacy. For this reason, detectives believe if they find out who was selling Demerol in Richmond back in 1984, they could be much closer to getting the answers to who killed Mike and Donna. Another detail supporting the theory was the place where the bodies were found. The woods behind Donna's apartment complex were certainly not the couple's weekend camping location. They did not even have proper camping equipment with them. And as the area was remote, so remote actually that nobody had come across the scene in days, how could anybody have known Mike and Donna would be there without them prearranging a meeting? But with who and where on earth were Donna's shoes? It seemed very unlikely that the killer would have slaughtered the couple and then taken a pair of shoes with them. In addition, it was quite clear Donna and Mike had spent some time in the location where they were later found before they had been killed. The Jeep's canvas top had been rolled back. A blanket had been taken out and put on the ground to sit on. Cigarettes had been smoked, and a bottle of beer drank. There was some reason why Donna and Mike had come to that place, and if it was not to wait for someone, then why? But one detail seemed not to fit the theory of a drug pass-off gone wrong: the manner of how Donna and Mike had been killed. Generally, if someone is robbed, the attacker does not overkill their victim, if they kill them at all. But Donna and Mike had been stabbed multiple times, and their throats had been cut deeply. Mike had even fought back and caused an injury to the killer. Such brutality seems unnecessary if someone just wanted to take the money and the drugs. But then again, the blood of the attacker was found inside the Jeep, in such places that it does look like they were looking for something specific. The way how Donna and Mike had been murdered and how their bodies had been arranged afterward made some people believe they were actually killed by a motorcycle gang. However, that possibility has been strongly denied by the detectives in the case. In addition, many have thought that maybe the killings were linked to other unsolved mysteries in Virginia, like the Route 29 stalker or the Colonial Parkway murders. But in the end, there are really not any similarities between the cases. It is also true that many of these theories do not explain the mysterious disappearance of Donna's shoes. There are not many logical explanations. Lastly, some of those who believe that Donna and Mike's murders were indeed drug-related has also been speculating about any involvement of Donna's father, Don Hall. According to some sources, Don was heavily into drugs himself and may have owed the wrong people money. So could Mike and Donna's deaths have been a punishment or a warning? Had Don encouraged his daughter and her boyfriend to go out camping to get out of the way of something that he knew was about to happen? There have not been answers to these questions, but the fact that Don and Marlene, Donna's mother, left town immediately after the murders for many months definitely did not help silence speculation. nor did Don's later criminal career that included fraud, drug trafficking, and even a prostitution ring. Of course, that does not mean he had anything to do with the deaths of Mike and Donna, but their murders definitely seem personal to many. By November of 1984, police had questioned over 200 people and cleared all possible persons of interest. Then the case stalled. Soon, the months became years, and the years became decades. Despite all the efforts, almost 40 years have passed without potential leads in this case. During this time, police have kept repeating that they are not after the drugs, they are after the killers. There is a reason why no one came forward back in 1984. And the detectives believe that reason was possible witnesses' own drug usage. They have noticed a change in the number of tips received now that the tragic event is so far in the past. People are more willing to talk, but still, there's not been a break in the case. "40 years might sound like too long for a murder case to be solved anymore. But history has proved it can be done. In June of last year, Montana law enforcement officials announced that they had closed a 65-year-old double murder case with the help of genetic genealogy. And that is why there is still hope for cracking the biggest unsolved case in the history of Henrico County. If you have any information concerning the murders of Michael and Donna, please contact the Henrico Police Department Cold Case Detectives at 804-501-5276. This has been an episode of Why So Cold. For the source material used in this episode, visit whysocold.com.